Hey, good evening, everyone. How are you? Oh my goodness, doesn't look like I have too many people tonight, which I kind of understand. Christmas is coming, but the show is going to go on and stuff. I know a lot of people are probably out there creating all the different Christmas gifts and everything and playing around with their embroidery machines and stuff. So I'm sure a lot of people don't have time to sometimes to chime in and stuff, which is okay because I know these are videos that can always be watched at a later time. So I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna start. Tonight, one of the things that I wanted to do was I wanted to talk about embroidery must-haves. Hey Renee, how are you? How you doing? I see people are starting to chime in now. I always have this fear that I'm gonna do a live and no one's gonna show up. You just never know and stuff. But hey, it's okay and stuff. So like I said, one of the things that I wanted to do was I wanted to talk about embroidery must-haves. I have been embroidering now for about 2 years. As most of you guys that follow me already kind of know that I started with an SE1900. I have a multi-needle machine, but I'm pretty attached to this small little machine behind me. So I wanted to share with you guys some of the things that I feel that if you are starting off in embroidering and it's something that you want to do, these are some of the things that you should get. Because I do notice that sometimes in the Facebook group, I have people that reach out and they say, oh my God, I just got my machine. I don't know where to start. I don't know where to get. I see everybody starting to chime in now. Hey, So-So-in. Hey, Elmore, Norma, Tracy. So, I wanted to do this video so that I can talk to you about how to get started. What are some of the things that I find are very, very important when you're starting to embroider. Hey, Sarah. So, I got a list of all the stuff and I wanted to share with you what worked, what I tried, what didn't work for me. Um, you know, so that way you guys can probably learn from my mistake. Okay. So once you get your SE1900, your embroidery machine, you're going to be like so excited. You're going to want to go ahead and you're going to want to start to embroider your first project, right? Now, they are some essentials that you are definitely going to need in order to start embroidering. Okay, now your machine will come already with some needles in it, but I highly recommend that you buy more needles because as you are sewing, your needles are going to get dull, your needles will break, depending on how dense or what type of fabric you use. You're going to make mistakes, okay? So don't think that you're going to get that machine and everything's going to be all rosy or anything. And I don't want to discourage you, but I just want you to know that when you do go and get these bumps in the road, I don't want you to get like pissed off and mad and upset and be like, forget about it, I'm never going to get this. It's something that we all go through. We all have our moments. So, you're starting out, you're going to make mistakes. But one of the things that I strongly encourage is when those mistakes happen, try to learn from them and figure out why it happened. Because once you start learning more about the machine and how the machine works and how it functions, then you're going to become so much better at embroidery because you're going to understand how stitches create the design. You're going to understand how the machine read the files, the embroidery files, in order to stitch them out. And then you're going to understand what type of fabric needs, what type of stabilizer, what type of needle, and so forth. So it's like a big puzzle. And then the more you start to embroider, the puzzle is going to be much more clearer. Okay. So, when you get your machine, that is one thing that I highly recommend. Do buy extra needles because trust me, you will need them. Okay. I know I try to change my needles every 2 weeks. And every 2 weeks, I'm changing 7 needles because I have 6 needles on this baby and then my 1 needle over here. Regardless of how much I think I've used it, the rule of thumb is you're supposed to change your needles every 8 hours of sewing. Because I know I sew a lot and I do a lot of orders and stuff, and I usually have both machines running a lot of times, okay? So I usually just every 2 weeks, or if I know that I have been nonstop, then I'll do it every week. I just take out the my 7 needles, and I just pop in brand new ones. Now, just something also that you may want to know. Sometimes I did not think about this until I actually changed out my needles for the first time. When I changed out my needle the first time, I thought, what do you do with the old needle, right? You don't want to throw it in the garbage, because if you throw it in the garbage, you don't want somebody to accidentally get cut, right? So just a little thing for you to think about. When you get your pack of your needles, right? I always don't throw away the old pack, okay? What I do is I take my old needles and I put it in the old pack, and then I kind of like fill it up. And then what I do is on my pack of needles, I just write the word old. And I kind of package them up like if they were new needles, but they're old, because I feel this is safe, right? Because they're in the foil, and then they're also in the envelope, right? So what I do is when I have the old needles, I take the envelope that's marked old, and then I put them in the foil, and then I put them in here. And then I save this until I have this envelope kind of full of needles. And then that's when I dispose of them in the garbage, because then I know it's not going to really hurt anyone, because it's kind of protected in the envelope and stuff. So it's just something that I do. I mean, if you want to like put them in aluminum foil, or a box or something like that, that would be pretty cool. It's just something I think about, because I always just think, if you just toss it in the garbage freely, it could be at the bottom of the garbage, or you don't know if, God forbid, somebody grabs the bag, and then all of a sudden they prick themselves. So it's just something that I do. So, just wanted to share that with you regarding the needles. Also, when we're talking about needles, there was some confusion about the needles that I use, okay? And I talked about it at the last video, and I'll mention it again. I use the Oregon Needles Ballpoint, the 7511 embroidery needle, okay? Now, they have different styles of these needles, okay? So it's very important that you guys get the right ones, because there is a difference in the eye of the needle. Sometimes it's smaller and it won't work on your threader on your SE1900. So if you are using your embroidery needle, I got the wrong pack, you want to make sure that you have it's this one. And I think, there it is. It's HAX. And I don't know if it's so clear. Oh, man. I don't know. Something's not. I'm trying to make it as clear as possible. There you go. HAX 130 EBBR. That is the needle that you want to use with your SE1900, okay? Because they have other ones, but what happens is the eye of the needle is a different size. And when you go to use the auto threader on your SE1900, it's not going to thread. Okay, so, and that's going to be a real pain. So, just want to let you guys know. So, me personally, what I do is I just buy a box of 100. Okay, now because I change my needles very often throughout the year, what I usually do is I buy 400 needles. I kind of buy like 4 boxes of the 100, and then I know I'm golden for the whole year. I usually buy a lot of things in bulk, and the reason why I do it is because I do embroider a lot, and I don't like to be out, run out of something in the middle of a project and stuff like that. So I always like to keep things well in stock, because I do know it's stuff that I'm going to constantly use. Okay. So, when you first start embroidering, just think about that. You need to make sure you have extra needles in hand. You don't want to be in the middle of a project and your last needle breaks, or it becomes dull. And then you gotta, like, you know, stop embroidering and go to the store and pick up something. Okay. The other thing I wanted to mention is thread. Okay. When you are starting out with embroidery, right, one thing for sure is you're going to need a thread set. Now, there are a lot of thread sets that are out there, and they're all very good. There's a brand called Thread Art, which is really good. They got Madrid. That one's very good also. When I started, I did the Brother Reed set, which is like 63 colors, and it was pretty inexpensive, and it was a great place to start. Then what I did was, as I started to sew more and you start using your thread, you're going to notice that there's certain colors that you use more than others. So I would just look at the spools, and when I saw that they were starting to run low, then I would try to find a matching color, and it didn't necessarily have to be that brand, but I would try to always get the big comb. Now, to use the big combs, though, of course, you're not going to be able to use it with your SE1900. But if you buy a single thread holder, which is the one that I have behind me next to my SE1900 that's holding the white thread, you can use that so that you can use large threads. Now, you don't really necessarily need to buy it. I've heard people just say that they take the thread and they just place it next to the machine and it seems to work fine, or they put it on the floor, it seems to work fine. Me personally, I just use the holder because the holder has like a little top, and let me go get it so you guys can see what I'm talking about. This kind of really does help. See, this is adjustable. And if you look at it, it's like I can have my big thread. And then if you notice, you just take it. This goes up and down. And then you can just take it, you thread it over here, and then you put it over your machine. It's not too expensive. I got this off of Amazon. There's lots of different types of single thread holders. They even have some thread holders that can hold multiple threads. They have it's like a rack, and then you can put like 4 different colors and then thread them all. That would be cool. And if I had something like that, I would probably do hold the white and the black thread, which is those are threads that I usually use a lot, or whatever other colors that I use. So this is pretty good. So this is something that I do recommend, to use, but you don't need it right away. It's just something you could think about later on, but when you're starting off in embroidery, it's really not something that you need right away, because when you have the set comes in smaller threads. And this is a set. This is an example of a set that I usually get, and I like thin threads. Thin thread works, and you don't have to use these. You can use whatever brands you want. There's so many different ones out there. They and they have different numbers of, you can go from 63 to I've seen 120 to even like 180 colors. You'll be amazed at how many different shades of red and how many different shades of blue you can get. Okay, but when you buy these kits, right, usually the threads, it's not that they're small, super small, but they're about like this size. Okay, and it's not bad. I mean, this is 1,100 yards. Okay, it does last you. This does last you. Okay, so don't look at it and think, oh, it's not that much. Believe me, these things last you. Okay, when I had my first set, I mean, it held me for about a good 6-7 months. Okay, while I was learning it and stuff. Now, on the other hand, though, because I'm embroidering so much, I run through them like crazy, which is why I kind of always, if I can find the particular color in a big comb, that's why I'll go and get the big comb, because I do spend a lot of money on thread. Okay. Oh, and the other thing too, bobbins. Okay. Me personally, I use pre-wind bobbins. I like the pre-wind bobbins because I feel that you really do get your money's worth. They already come. They're already, you just take them, pop them in the machine. They're good. You can get a box of the white. You can get a box of the black. They do also sell a machine that you can buy. I've seen those on Amazon. I have not bought one yet, but they help you to wind bobbins. Now, why would you do that? Okay, the SE1900 has the functionality for you to wind a bobbin, okay? But some people just like to buy a separate machine to wind a bobbin because they feel that for some reason those machines, when they create the bobbin, it's like they make the thread tighter on the bobbin. I don't know if I'm making sense, but me personally, whenever I have done the bobbin on the SE1900, it never really comes out that great. It's kind of loose, and I always have issues with it. So to be honest, I mean, the only time I will do it is when I have to have the same color on the top as the bottom. That's when I will go ahead and I will do a bobbin. I'll create my own bobbin. Other than that, I always use a pre-wind bobbin. And like I said, I don't think they're expensive at all. You get 144 of them. I really can't tell you how much I paid for it because it's been a long time when I buy some of these things because, like I said, I buy them in stock. So a lot of times when I bought my pre-wind bobbins, and I'm probably saying it all tongue-tied, but anyway, when I bought them, I bought like 2 boxes of the black, 2 boxes of the white, and I still have plenty of them. And if anything, I really go through a lot of the bobbins on the big machine. So if any of you guys have a multi-needle machine, when I'm in a hurry, I use that because the difference between the two is the speed, okay? The big machine will stitch 1,000 stitches per minute. The SE1900 is 600 stitches per minute, okay? And it also depends on what I am embroidering. If I'm embroidering something that's a little big and bulky, I need that space, like a pocket, then this is perfect because it has the arm and I can let it hang, right? With the SE1900 though, what I like about it is that it's just simpler and it's just so much more easier. And, I don't know. I just like it because I will admit, I like watching the needle go up and down. So with this, you can do the same thing, but it's just, I don't know. It's just more fun on the other machine. I don't know why. I'm just, and maybe it's because that machine means a lot to me because it's my first. So I don't know, my first embroidery machine, and I don't want to let go. Okay. The other thing I want to tell you too is when you buy the machine, okay, if you're thinking about getting it, make sure you have needles, make sure you have your set of thread, and make sure you have stabilizer. I started with tearaway stabilizers. Tearaway stabilizer is pretty inexpensive. You can buy a pack for like 200 sheets, okay? Just make sure that you have enough to cover the 5x7 hoop. I usually buy the stabilizer about 8x12, which is more than enough room. And they last a long time. So, I usually, as you start to embroider, then you start to learn about the different types of stabilizers and the different ways to use stabilizers. For instance, I like to float a lot of things. In the beginning when I started embroidering, I was hooping everything. That can kind of get hard because what happens is you're hooping the stabilizer and then you're hooping the material. And sometimes you want the material to be in a certain spot, right? So that you can embroider. And when you're hooping and you're trying to lock it together, sometimes it'll shift. So what I usually like to do, and this is, it always works for me, is I hoop my tear stabilizer first, or my sticky stabilizer, or my cutaway stabilizer, whatever stabilizer I'm using. If I'm using sticky stabilizer, then it's great because all I have to do is just lay my material on top of it. Or if I, am not using sticky stabilizer and I'm using tearaway or I'm using cutaway, then I always use a temporary adhesive. And temporary adhesive that I like to use is the Silky KK2000. Now, someone had commented on one of my videos that they use something called 505. So I've never used the 505 and I am curious and I'm going to buy a bottle of it. What is important about the temporary adhesive that you select is you want to make sure that you pick something that's not going to gum up your needle, okay? If it gums up your needle, it can really distort your embroidery because you want your needle to go in and out of the fabric as clean as possible. So that's really important. So I've never had an issue with this one. The only thing I will say that I don't like about this is it comes in a very small bottle. I have not been able to find this in a big bottle. I don't know why. Maybe I'm not looking in the right place, but it's kind of like sometimes I look at it and I'm like, it's kind of pricey for a little bottle, But it does last. It lasts for a long time. I've had this for a while. So it could be that maybe I'm just used to, having big things. And when I see a small bottle, I'm kind of like, ee. But no, but it works. And I really like it because it doesn't have any odor or anything like that. And like I said, it doesn't gum up the needle or anything. But I am a floater when it comes to embroidering on the SE1900. Okay. I like to hoop my material, my stabilizer, take the temporary adhesive, and then lay the material on top of it. I feel that it's so much easier because that way you can make sure that the material is lying on the hoop the way you want it to lie. If you sometimes, material can be very thick, like towels. Towels can be very thick, bulky. Those things, you float them and it makes things so much easier. So, and let me give you another tip too. Sometimes, like when I do embroidery on the Easter bunnies, right? When Easter comes, a lot of people, they want to get their kids an Easter bunny. And what they want is they want their kids' names embroidered on the ears, right? So that can be very bulky to embroider, right? So what I usually do is I'll get like sticky stabilizer. And if I don't, I'll do a tearaway and I spray this. But it's something else that I do, which I find is very, very helpful. Painter's tape. I actually take this and I sometimes tape down the item to my hoop, okay? You don't tape it in the area that you're going to embroider, but you tape around it. And what it does is this really kind of helps to secure the item more firmly on the hoop. Because remember, temporary spray adhesive is sticky, but it's only sticky to a certain point, right? And you don't want to start embroidering or in the middle of your embroidering that the fabric or the item shifts. So when it comes to the bunny rabbits and the bunny rabbit ears, what I like to do is I like to, always secure the top and the bottom of the ear to the hoop using painter's tape. So, I mean, it's cheap and it works, So it's not very attractive looking, but hey, at the end of the day, when you get the end product the way you want it, it works. So that's just something that I do that I find you guys will probably find this helpful. Because now, I think Valentine's Day is coming. So I guess people will probably be asking people to embroider bunnies or bears or elephants or whatever stuffed animals that, folks like to give their kids. Okay. So also, I wanted to talk to you about something that people don't really talk about a lot. Your space, your work environment, and mostly your chair, okay? when I started to embroider, I had like a little office chair, right? And I started to sew. And one of the things that I do is like, you slouch a little bit and stuff. My back started to hurt. So I was kind of like, what the heck? So I remember I talked to my mom, and she told me that back in the day, she used to work in a factory where they used to sew all the time. So I was like, you're sewing for 8 hours, right? So she says, well, our chairs were kind of different. So I decided to do a search on Amazon, and I searched for sewing chairs. And I found a company called Arrow, and Arrow had these sewing chairs. Now, I'm going to tell you something. These chairs are not cheap, okay? They were not cheap at all. But they were pretty cute. And then what I did was I went and I tried to get one. So the chair that I select is the one I'm sitting in right now, which I'm going to show you. And I really like it. This is the black and white one. What I like about this one is that it goes up and then it goes down. It has a little thing where you can let me go up, and then you can sit on it and then go down. And then what I thought was so cute was that this opens up for storage. So you can put like little sewing stuff and everything in there. So I thought that was really, really, really cute. So I said, I'm going to buy one. I'm going to try it out. So I went and I bought it. I really, really like it because of the support in the back. It really like helps my back. So I was like, oh, this is really cool. So I liked it a lot. But then I didn't I still had the office chair in here. Now, before the virus hit, I used to get folks that would come to my sewing room whenever they needed me to hem something for them or do some type of embroidery for them. And I used to like pull a stool or something for them to sit on. So I figured, let me get another sewing machine chair, right? So I went in and I got this one. And this is another one. This is the one with the wooden one. And I think it's so cute. It's the same thing. This one doesn't go up and down, but this is the one that I kept by here. And it also has a little storage room. So, I went and I just got two. So I decided, what the heck? I'm going to treat myself. I sit in here and I sew all day. So I'm going to go and treat myself to a nice little, chair. So now I got my sewing chair. So I'm set in my room with my sewing chair. So anyway, but it's just something that, a lot of people don't think about. They don't think about the chair and stuff like that, So I just wanted to mention that. So, you may not, as soon as you start embroidering, you may not think about the chair until like later on, like I did. But just something to keep in the back of your mind. You want to make sure that you have something that is very, very comfortable and it's not going to hurt your back and stuff. Make sure you have good lighting too. I had to go out and I had to buy these little lamps, and I put it by the sewing machine and stuff because I started getting a lot of orders for face masks when the virus first took off. A lot of people, you couldn't buy face masks anywhere. So I was doing a lot of them. So I was up at nighttime and it was really hard for me to see. So I had to buy a lamp and put it over the sewing machine so I could look, see real clearly and stuff like that. So, look at the space that you have. You want it to be a very comfortable space. You want to make sure that you have enough room for your thread, for all your items and stuff. You want to make sure that you keep everything nice and neat and stuff so you can find them very quickly. Another thing that I got too, I got this on Michael's. This is very, very handy. If you go to Michael's or Joann's or Hobby Lobby and stuff, I'm sure you guys probably see it. This is like the 3-tier storage thing. This is great. You can put your bobbins. You can even store your threads here and whatever. And it's very compact. Doesn't use a lot of space. So usually when I'm sewing and stuff like that, this cart kind of follows me around. So when I'm here, this cart's here. And then when I'm over there, it's like I just grab it and roll it over back there. So this is where I have a lot of the stuff that I need when I'm embroidering and stuff. The only thing I don't have in here is the thread, which I kind of keep on my walls and stuff. So, this is something I wanted to throw out there, okay? Also, your SE1900 comes with a pair of scissors. I personally like the scissors that they gave me. These were the scissors that I got. I like them because they're lightweight and they have very pointy very pointy end, so that when you cut your embroidery thread, you're very close to the fabric. I thought these are pretty cute, you know, to start with. And I was fine with it, you know. So you may not need another pair of scissors. However, though, me, I always venture off. So I went and I bought more scissors. I love, I call them ginger scissors. And I know I'm probably saying it wrong. They're probably called something else. It's Ginger. Ginger or some. You guys know what I mean. Well, anyway, I like these. They're small, pointy too, extremely sharp. Okay, not that, you know, the ones that brother gives you is dull, but these are pretty sharp too. So, you know, and you know, as you start to embroider, and you're gonna want to buy other scissors, okay? Because when you want to do applique, you're gonna want to buy scissors to help you with your applique. These are really good. I think they're called duck scissors or something, but these are really, really good because they help you cut close to the fabric without cutting the stitches if you're doing applique. And I know a lot of people do applique, especially when they're working on kids' clothing, like t-shirts, baby onesies, and stuff like that. So these scissors are very, very, very good. You know, but this is just stuff that you're going to start to accumulate as you start to learn how to embroider and stuff like that. So it's just stuff for you to think about. Now, I'm going to tell you something, though. When you get into embroidery is not a cheap hobby, okay? Sometimes people think that. They think, oh, it's cheap. It's in the, you know, it's not. Or they don't think about it, you know. They just think, oh, I got the sewing machine and I'm going to start sewing and all that kind of stuff. But as you start to work on things, and then you're like, oh, I want to do this and I want to do that, you're going to start realizing that now you got to buy this and now you got to buy that. And before you know it, it's ching, 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 ching. And then you spend a lot of money. So I'm just going to throw it out there. So just be prepared, you know, for that. Okay. Now, the other thing that I highly recommend is software. Okay. When you have an embroidery machine, you start to embroider. Think about the type of software that you want to use when you are embroidering. Now, you may not be a digitizer. You just want to be somebody that embroiders. I personally am not a digitizer, okay? Now, I do mess around with some designs, okay? But a lot of the designs that I mess with is designs that I purchase from other people. And as far as my experience goes, is taking existing files and just manipulating them a bit to change them and add them and create other stuff, okay? I don't know how to design a embroidery file from scratch, or I don't have that experience yet. I would like to do that, but right now, today, I don't have it. I don't have the knowledge. So think about the software, though, because you're going to want to buy software. It's going to make things easier for you. It truly is. I use Embrilliance Essentials. That's how I started with Embrilliance Essentials. The reason why I chose that one is because I'm a Mac person, okay? We use Mac in my house. Nobody uses Windows. The only Windows I use is for the job. And I personally love my Mac. The only embroidery software that I found that works on a Mac was Embrilliance. If there's others out there, I didn't know about them, or I still don't know about them really today. I mean, I do know that I can probably modify the Mac to run a Windows version on it, but I didn't want to go through all that. So I looked into Embrilliance Essentials. If you go to their website, they do have software that you can download it. It also works on a Windows and it works on a Mac. Okay, it works on both. You can download it. I think it's a trial that you can use for like 30 days, if I'm not sure, to see if you like it. I personally did not find it difficult to use, okay? There is just so much information out there on how to use this software also. A lot of good videos that you can watch and everything. I myself have even done a couple of videos to show you guys how I added the knockdown stitches and how I've modified some designs. So so that you can create your own files and stuff like that. I personally strongly recommend that you look into getting some type of software to help you with your embroidery. Because if you don't, what's going to happen, and it's not that you can't embroider if you don't have it, but what will happen is you have to go to, well, not that you don't have to go to, but your machine comes with some designs that are already preloaded, right? And you can use those. But chances are you're going to want to do other stuff and you're going to want other designs. So you're going to go to websites and you're going to buy embroidery files. You can buy embroidery files from Etsy. There's designs by Juju. There's Stitchtopia. There's embroidery designs. There's embroidery library. There's so many different websites you can buy the files from, right? And of course, you just want to make sure that it's a PES file. And you also want to make sure that they fit in your 5x7 hoop. But if you want to make modifications to those files, right? There's so many different fonts out there now, and really cute fonts, cuter than what the brother gives you. I mean, the brother gives you some decent fonts, but the thing is, there's nicer ones, script and all that kind of stuff. If you have the software, you can buy additional fonts, and then you can create the design that you want on your software, and then you save it on your flash drive, and then you can bring it over to your machine. It's just, to me, it just opens up an avenue for you to be more creative. That's all, and as you start to embroider, trust me, you're going to want to venture off and become more creative, especially when you start to see other folks create things, and you're going to be like, God, I want to do that too. So trust me, it's gonna you're gonna want to. So you may not want to do it right away, but start thinking about that and start thinking and start looking around. I mean, there's and Embrilliance is not the only one out there. I've heard of one called Hatch. I heard of one called So Pro. I don't have experience in any of those, but from what I read, those are very good ones as well. So what I recommend is look at as many of the different ones out there, and then you can pick one that you feel you can understand and is easier for you to work with. Okay. The other thing that I want to talk to you guys about is hoops. Okay. Your machine will come with a 5x7 hoop. You only get like one hoop. Okay, that's all you get. But you can buy additional hoops if you want. You can get a 4x4 hoop. You can also use a 5x12 hoop, and I have a video out on that. I personally have the 4x4, and I have 3 5x7s, and I have a 5x12. The reason why I have 3 5x7s is because I like to embroider dinner napkins. Okay, those are some of the items that I sell on my Etsy shop. When I am selling stuff like that, usually people don't just put in, unless they want to just get a sample. I won't, when I make a sale of a dinner napkin, a lot of times people like to buy them from sets. So they say, I want 2 dinner napkins, or 4, or 6, or 8, or 12, right? So what I do is I always do my dinner napkins on my single needle machine. And because I have the 3 5x7 hoops, then what I do is I put sticky stabilizer on all of my hoops. And then I have, I iron all my napkins, and I hoop 3 at a time. So as one is in the machine, as soon as it's done, I pop it out, put another hoop in, then pop out, put the other hoop in. So it's like I have like a little assembly line and stuff. And, so it's just something that for you to think about later on, I mean, if you start to like decide to sell and everything, you may want to buy additional hoops and stuff. So, just something I want to mention. Now, I already talked about the temporary spray adhesive. I had that as number 9. I made my little list. Okay. I also wanted to say, This is something that I have mentioned at other videos that is very, very, very helpful. Okay. And a lot of people reached out to me and said, thank you for mentioning it. When you go to Michael's or anything like that, try to purchase felt. This is a great way and very, very inexpensive. Okay. Cheaper than using fabric. Okay. You can go to Hobby Lobby and you can probably buy like a yard or something like that of fabric. And then you can go and you can use that fabric to practice your embroidery. But I recommend this felt is only like, I think it's like 35 cents a sheet. Okay. And you can take this sheet and you can cut it in half. And you can probably hoop this and then hoop the other sheet or whatever. And I use this to practice. So what I do is when I'm looking at new designs, right? Or if I'm trying to get an idea for a shirt, I will use my felt to, just go ahead and embroider on. Okay. And if it comes out really nice, then what I do is I fold it. Okay. And, sometimes you'll see them on Etsy. A lot of people do this. They just fold it up and then they just post it. They position it, make it real pretty or whatever, put a background in it, take a picture of it, and people think it's a shirt. It's not really a shirt. It's just felt. Okay. And then when you make an order, then you actually buy the shirt and then you can embroider on it. And you know that you're going to be fine embroidering on the shirt because you already practiced and you already know you can do it. Okay. So I do this for a lot of samples. Like if people want to see samples of my work, then I'm like, okay, that's fine. And then I have all my felt sheets. And then I could say, okay, these are some of the stuff that I can do, and, it's just very inexpensive way for you to practice your embroidery. Okay. Also, you can even use this to test out your tension. Okay. And that's another reason why I would probably recommend buy another 5x7 hoop. You want to always make sure that you check your tension. Okay. Because, you want to make sure that the last thing you want is to be embroidering and then all of a sudden your bobbin is showing up on the top. So every time, at least once a week, I always take a piece of felt of this, I hoop it, and I'm always checking the tension. And I always check the tension with the letter I. Okay. That way I can make sure that it's embroidering fine. And, you can always just take one of these, hoop it on an extra hoop that you have on a 5x7 and put it in a drawer. And then whenever you're in the mood to, let me just check the tension, make sure the tension's okay on the machine. Just take out that hoop. It's already hooped in here. Just position it and then just go ahead and test out a letter I. And then you can just use this until it's all filled up with the letter I's, and then you just throw it out. That way you're not wasting thread. Not thread, fabrics and all that kind of stuff. Because, fabric can get kind of pricey and stuff. It's not like an arm and a leg, but the thing is, it starts to add up after a while. So, I started to do this using the felt, and I just felt that it was a inexpensive way to test out designs and also to test my my tension. So okay, moving on along. Okay, my last one. Okay, steam rippers. Okay, you're gonna need steam rippers, guys. Make sure that you have a good steam ripper, one that you're comfortable with, because if you think that you're not going to make mistakes and that you're not going to want to redo a stitch, okay, even if you don't redo anything in the embroidery, believe me, the machine is a sewing machine too. So I like your machine, and I don't know if you guys saw one of the very first videos that I did when I did the unboxing. Okay, your machine will come with a steam ripper. I remember I took it out and I said, what the hell is this? What is this? I didn't know what it was. Okay, I didn't know that you were supposed to open it up and voila, it was a steam ripper. Okay, so I didn't know. But you know, it comes with one, okay? But the thing is, I wanted one that was really comfortable with my hand. So I went to Hobby Lobby with a coupon and then I found this and stuff. And that's one thing. I like I always shop with a coupon, you know. So so I got this one. It feels better in my hand and stuff like that. It's not that it's bad. I mean, you know, it's cute and it fits in your little case in the machine. But I just, you know, I don't know. I mean, it's the same thing, I guess. It is. It's just, I just like the handle. The handle I felt was more smell. That's all. And stuff. So, you know, I just said, what the heck, you know. But believe me, I've used this a lot of boo-boos, made a lot of boo-boos and stuff and everything. So I am going to go on the chat room. Oh, we are 8:45. I'm going to go in the chat room and stuff because last week I talked a lot. You know, I'm a talker, yes. So let me see if you guys have questions and stuff. Hey, Susan, how are you? Hey, Amanda, Jennifer, Donna. Hey, Robin. Tracy, Norma. Let's see. Hey, Luke, Lucky Lucy, Iris. How often do you use your 6 needle? I usually use the 6 needle. I do use it. I use it when I have a lot of big orders and stuff. Like I do laptop cases. I definitely do it on the 6 needle machine because the laptop case is very you can't do it on that machine. So when I have items like that, like laptop cases, bags, you know, tote bags, that's the machine that I use. Okay. And then if I have a lot of orders, Iris, if I have like so much orders and stuff, you know, then I'll have both of them running at the same time, which this room gets very noisy. I am thinking about trading in the 6 needle and getting a 10 needle. I'm not sure though. I'm hesitant about it. I don't know. I'm gonna see. I mean, my birthday's in July of next year, so I'm thinking if I am to do it, I'll probably do it to treat myself for my birthday. But right now, the 6 needle is fine. I mean, it seems to be working. The only reason that I would probably go with a 10 needle is because I have less color changes. Sorry, because changing the thread on that machine can be a pain in the ass. I mean, you know, I don't know. It's okay. I mean, don't get me wrong. Multi-needle machines are very good. But I'm like I said, I just have my heart belongs to the baby up there, you know. So I kind of like it, you know. I put mine in empty. Oh, that's a good idea. Renee Brown mentioned that she puts her used bottles in a empty medicine bottle. And you know what? I might steal that idea because that's a better idea than what I have, Renee. Thank you, because I've been putting them in these. And that's probably a whole lot more safer because you have the cap. So I know for sure no one will get hurt. Because that's all my concern is that someone's going to get hurt when they go in the garbage can and stuff like that. That's a good idea. Okay, I put them in my husband's Sharps container. Sharps container. Donna. What's Sharps? I never heard of Sharps container. And so, let me see. I wish someone would have told me at the beginning of my journey. Oh, Miss Miles. Yes, Lucky Lucy. That is exactly the needle that I am looking for. Lucky Lucy had put the exact all the numbers for the machine that you have to get. I have some flat backs and some round ones. Yeah. Oh, and that's another thing. Miss Miles mentioned the flat backs. Yes. When you buy the needles, make sure that you're getting they call it a flat shank, I believe, because you need it to be flat on one of the side of the needles. Okay, so that way you can just put it up in your machine and stuff. I want to try Silky Raymond. Silky Raymond is a embroidery thread needle. I have used it, Miss Miles, and it is a very good thread. I like that. And I've also heard of thread art. I've heard of it, but I have not used thread art. I have used the Silky Ryan or Raymond. I'm saying Raymond, so I don't know. Y'all know what I mean and stuff. Do you put netting over your spools? No, Donna, I don't put the netting on my spools. I was trying to do that, because I had so much netting, because every time you buy stuff, people like throw netting in the boxes and stuff like that. So I have netting galore everywhere, okay? And so that you guys can see what she's talking about, it's these things. They have these spool nettings that you're supposed to put over. And it's supposed to, to help. I believe, Donna, let me know if I'm wrong, that this is something to keep, help store your thread, right? Well, what I've been doing is I've been buying these, and these are thread huggers. And I didn't find these expensive at all, so I've been using the thread huggers to to keep all of my thread neat. So Donna, no, I haven't been doing the netting, because I don't know, I just and I've heard that some people they take the netting, they cut it in half, especially if you have the small spools, but I have not been doing that. That's a nice thread scent. Thank you, Lucy. The thread holder keeps the thread from dipping over. Yeah, you're right. Okay. Okay, Miss Miles says she feels the holder is a must. Yeah, I mean, to me, it worked a lot easier. Before I got the thread holder, I was doing like a lot of people were saying, just put the thread next to the machine, and some people were saying we're putting it on the floor. To me, it didn't work. I just felt like it just, so I just said, screw it. Let me just get it. And then I got it, and it worked a lot better. And then I even bought an extra one and sent it to my mom, because my mom has a real old machine. And I think she said that her spool kept falling off the machine. So I got that for her, and she likes it. She likes it a lot. So, oh, Race Mode, congratulations on your SE1900. You're going to love the machine. You're going to love it and stuff. And I do have to post, and I'm on vacation for the next 2 weeks from my job. So this week I can post a lot more videos on the SE1900, because, there is so much functionality in this machine. So Race Mode, you just got it. I'm going to start doing videos on more of the functionality and stuff, on like the settings and all that kind of stuff and everything, because the more you learn about how the machine works, the better all your projects are going to be and stuff. It came with a polyester brand. It's great. Yep, Jennifer, I follow the Brothers Thread Guide as well. I like them. Let me see the smiles. Get the one with the iron at the bottom if you're tight thing when you're embroidering. Iron at the bottom. Mine doesn't have iron. Mine is plastic. Oh, Miss Miles, you need to tell me which one you got. You gotta text me that. Let me see the proper. Yes, Lucky Lucy. Man, she's on it today. You go, girl. Lucky Lucy had put in the comments the pre-wand bobbins to make sure that you get and you can't. I get mine from Amazon. Yes. I do like the polyester. The polyester, to me, I feel is stronger. It's stronger thread, and it's much better. I always use polyester. Oh, Jennifer says she's not a. Yes, I never tried thread art, and I'm gonna tell you something. Thread art is not cheap thread, because I did go to their website and I was looking at the thread art work, because I saw on some of the Facebook groups who were talking about that type of thread, and they were like, oh, And they had like these beautiful cases. And I'm like, oh, what are those things? So I started looking into it, and the prices were high. And I was like, you know what? Like, I don't know. I mean, really, if you think about it, when you do embroidery, right? I mean, and you really look at the design, what goes through my mind is, are people really going to know if you use an expensive thread or a cheap thread? Now, they may know if you use a real super cheap thread, right? But I think, as long as you have decent thread, you're fine. I think you're fine, Okay, magnetic hoop. Yes, Miss Miles, I have a magnetic hoop. And I tried it, and I do use it. Magnetic hoop. Oh, where is it? I have one. It is in here somewhere. Okay. Magnetic. Here it is. She had to mention it. So you guys know, this is the magnetic hoop for an SE1900, okay? This is really, really good if you are going to embroider beach towels, bath towels, and stuff like that. It has these magnets, okay? They are very, very, very strong. So they will hold down your towel like crazy. So you just put them on there and stuff. So usually what I'll do is I'll have my sticky stabilizer at the bottom. I put my sticky stabilizer on here. I put my towel, and then I also put these things on it. And this is the hoop that I use to do bathroom towels, beach towels, stuff that's very, very thick and bulky. So yes, Miss Miles, the magnetic hoop, and I got it off of Amazon too. So you can get this off of Amazon. Just make sure that when you're getting the hoop, that it fits the SE1900. Iris rather, yep. Hoop. She likes to hoop, float as well. I mean. Oh, okay. Miss Smile says she breaks her needles all the time. Is using too much basting spray. Yes, and what that can do is it can gum up your needle if you use too much spray. So when you are using this stuff as a temporary adhesive, don't go crazy, okay? And spray all over the thing, and then you're supposed to be light. All it is so that the material can grab onto your tearaway stabilizer, your cutaway stabilizer. It's not for you to soak it up, okay? So if you do that, it could definitely gum up your needle, and it's not gonna, just light. Just do it light. If you need like something super strong, then that's when I say don't do the temporary adhesive. That's when I would say go get sticky stabilizer and use that. Okay. Let's see. Okay, what digitized software do you use for your embroidery designs? Okay, hi Paradise. I actually use Embroidery Essentials, okay, but I have the whole suite, okay. I liked Embroidery Essentials because it does allow you to modify designs. And what I usually do is I do all my designs in Embroidery, and then once I'm fine with the design, then I save it and I put it over to my SE1900 on a flash drive. So that's usually what I do. But I chose Embroidery because I use the Mac. Okay. I love snips. Yes. Oh, you had snips that come. Oh, okay, Sarah. When you said snips, you know what I was thinking? I was thinking, because I had also brought, here. These things. These are another pair of scissors that are pretty cool. I got these, but it's okay, but they're like dull in a way. So, I bought these because sometimes I do that to also cut my applique, because sometimes, you know, you have little corners and stuff that you need to get into. So these I use for the corners, but they're not as sharp as I would have hoped. You know, but this is what I call the snips and stuff. I just call, you know, I know you called it a snip, but this I just call the scissor that came with it, you know. So let's see, anybody else's questions? I have such a hard time auto threading. Can you please help? Okay, Joe be killing them. The only check your needle, okay? What needle are you using? Because a lot of folks were having problems with the auto threading, and it was because the eye of the needle, it wasn't the right size. So what I would recommend, if you can get your hand on the needle that I am talking about, but make sure that it's the correct one, then you would know if that's the actual issue. Also, another issue that you could be having with your auto threader is that if you look on the back of your of the needle, you're going to see that there's like a gray tab. Now that gray tab is what you pull down when you want to use the foot to sew a button. Okay, when you use the button foot, all right? You need to make sure that that is pushed all the way up, because if it's pushed down, then what will happen is that's going to get in the way of the auto threader, and it's not going to thread your machine correctly. So those are two things that you should look into, and maybe that will help you out. So hopefully, you know, and now let me know, or try to post something on Facebook, on our Facebook group, so that way people can chime in and try to help figure out what's going on with your machine and stuff. Oh, another one said, don't waste your money on thread art. Okay, I guess thread out is out. Peace and joy. She has the machine, does no idea how to embroider on it. Girl, you better get on that. Or guy, you better get on that. You got some gold. You'll figure it out. Take your time. Oh, Donna said the netting is supposed to keep your thread from coming off the spool too fast and breaking. Well, thank you, Miss Donna. Oh, I didn't know that. Well, then guess I'm going to be using my netting then, because sometimes my thread breaks. Thank you. See, just like you guys learn from me, I learned from you guys too. That's awesome. Well, I got to post that on Facebook then. I'm going to put that on our Facebook group, because, I mean, all this time, I'm like wondering, why do I keep getting these things? I mean, what is this for? But thank you. I appreciate that. Just found your channel. Your videos are great. Oh, thanks, sewing. Let's see. Could you please repeat? Oh, where you purchased your chair? Hey, Tracy. Yes. If you go on Amazon, you can do a search on sewing chairs. The company name is Arrow. Okay, and they have so many different. They got colors, different colors and styles and stuff like that. I mean, the chairs are not cheap. I'm going to tell you guys up front. These are pretty expensive chairs. They were like $300 for one chair. But so I only bought one at first, but like I said, I wanted to try it out, make sure, and I really liked it a lot. And because I'm usually here, and then I go over there, and then, you know, I figured, let me just get two. I'll treat myself, because I did pretty good on orders this year, so I just used my profits from my orders to pay for my second chair, you know, so that way I don't feel guilty for spending so much money, you know. I bought it after watching. Hey, Rachel. Oh, you're gonna love your machine. Could you? Okay. Let me see. I hate hooping until I purchased the hoop mat from Dime. It's a game changer. Oh, Wash Your Hands bought a hoop mat by Dime, and I I don't have a hoop mat. I'm going to find out what that is. Thank you for posting that, because I definitely want to find out, you know, because I don't like hooping either, which is why I do a lot of floating, okay? Because I mean, hooping is like, ugh, you know. Let's see. A lot of people are talking about different threads. Just opened it. It has one came with, I had to put it down like 4 times. Just opened it. It was the one it came with. Oh, the needle. Okay, another thing you can try, Joe, is the needle put all the way up, you know, in the machine and stuff. And if you want though, Joe, you can reach out to me and stuff and we'll try to work it out, okay? Joe be killing them. So we'll try to figure it out and stuff, because I'm sure it's got to be something simple. Sometimes you just don't see it, you know, I mean, and stuff. So I don't mind helping you. Let's see. Oh, do you have to oil the SE1900 at any point? Okay, no. The answer to that is no. When you have these big machines, these multi-needle machines, you do have to oil them every day. I have to oil this baby every time I turn it on. Every morning when I turn it on, I have to put some oil by the bobbin area. On the SE1900, you do not have to oil it. It's fine. However, that is one thing that I do tell people is the SE1900. When I first bought it, and I bought it like 2 years ago, I just recently had it serviced, okay? I recommend if you have a sewing machine, please get it serviced every year, because what they do is that's where they properly oil it. That's where they make sure the tension's right, and they open up your whole machine. They clean it out because you have a lot of lint in there and stuff like that. So do take it for maintenance, okay? Because to me, I look at it like your sewing machine is like your car. If you don't take care of it, it's gonna break down on you. So, but no, Joe B. Killen, you do not have to oil the SE1900. I mean, yeah, the SE1900. You don't have to oil. If you do have a multi-needle machine, you got to make sure you get your little bottle of oil and stuff. Because this is what I use for my my 6-needle machine and stuff. So, and these bottles of oils, it's just a drop. You just put a little drop in there and stuff. So it's not bad. Renee said she thought the netting was just to hold the spool around. Yeah, that's what I thought too. Donna, I think you set us straight. What stabilizer do I prefer? Okay, Jada, I'm cheap, so I go for the cheap stabilizer. Let me start. I'm not brand name specific, okay? When it comes to stabilizer, what I usually do is I go on Amazon and then I type in the type of stabilizer that I want, and then I look at the reviews. Usually I try to pick a stabilizer that has the highest reviews on there. Let me see if I have any brands that I particularly like. There's one called World Weaver, Wiener, or did I say? I didn't mean Wiener, but Wender. This stuff, okay, but it says World this stuff. My pronunciation is bad, okay, but this is sticky stabilizer, okay. I use this. It's okay. Will I buy it again? If the price is right. But I'm gonna be honest, if I see something cheaper with high reviews, I'm gonna try them too. So I mean, I'm not really brand name specific when it comes to the stabilizer, okay? Because there's just so many different types of stabilizers. You know, so I usually just buy and I try it out. You know, I mean, I know that's not the answer that you're looking for, but the thing is, I don't want to, like, you know, I really don't have a brand, you know, and stuff. So, you know, and And this is the other thing too, Jada, that I recommend. When buy the small pack first, just buy a small pack of it. If you don't like it, then you didn't go buy a whole bunch, right? But if you buy the small pack and you like it, then keep that brand name in mind. But I always tell people, don't be afraid to try other brand names, because sometimes you can get something cheaper that's just as good. Okay. Let's see. Under the other questions, metallic thread. Oh, Miss Miles, I have not tackled that yet, and I heard that they have metallic needles for metallic thread, and a lot of people have challenges for that. I've heard some people even slow down the speed of their machine in order to sew with the metallic thread. So I have not tackled that yet. So let's see. Make your pressure foot down so your thing. I know you guys are laughing at my English. Let's see. Make sure you thread the machine with the pressure foot up before you hit the thread button. Put the pressure foot down. Found it works for me. Thread button quickly. Renee's giving you some tips. Do you sell your embroidery designs? No, I don't. Miss Nelson, I don't, because those designs really aren't like, I don't know. I don't know if you can say they're mine, but this is what I usually do is I like to buy the embroidery designs. Okay. Embroidery files are pretty cheap. They're not very expensive. And I'm going to be honest. Sometimes I feel like these people that create these designs get gypped, because I tried learning how to make embroidery designs from scratch. That is not easy. And you're talking about thousands of stitches. Okay. And then they're only selling these files for like $1, $2, $3. And I'm like, oh my God, how are you making money off of that? Right. So, what I usually do is I like to buy a lot of different designs. And then sometimes what I'll do is I'll just take a little piece of one design and then I'll copy it. And then I'll take another piece from another design and I copy it. Like, let's say, I'll give you an example. Let's say there's a tree that I really love off of one design. I'll just copy that tree. And then if there's like a little bird or a butterfly or something, then I'll copy from another design. I'll copy that and I'll put it together with the tree. And then, I like to personalize it, and then sometimes I'll put person's name on it or something like that. But I'm not a digitizer, and I really don't create my own designs, I guess to me, that's not, well, I guess you can say I created it, but I don't know. I don't sell them. I really don't. I just make them and stuff. So, let's see. Has anyone bought stabilizer and forgot what you bought it for? Yes, Miss Smiles, I have a lot of that. There's a lot of stabilizer I buy, because I like I said, I buy from bulk. Let's see. How do you slow down the speed? Okay, I will make a video on that, because you slow it down on your settings. In the settings of your machine, you can slow down the speed. So like I said, this week I'm on vacation from my regular job, so I can film. And that is one thing that I will add in my video, is that I will show you about the settings on how you can personalize the settings on your SE1900, what certain settings mean and stuff like that, and even changing the speed and all that kind of stuff. So I will explain all that. So this week I will be doing videos galore. That's my plans for this week. Videos galore to put more information out there on how you guys can use this machine, okay? Because there is so much you guys can learn, okay? So the investment for buying and brilliant software worth it? Miss Nelson, for me, yes, because I use it all the time. Okay, every single embroidery that I do it off of Embrilliance, okay? Because I do the personalization of it and stuff like that. So it works for me. You know, but like I said, there's a lot of different software applications out there. You have to try to find what works for you and what's easy and stuff like that. I found Embrilliance to be easy. It's something that I like, and I have a Mac, so you know, it worked really great for me and stuff. So guys, oh my God, past 9 o'clock. Okay, so guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I really, really appreciate it. If you guys have a topic that you want me to explore for you guys during a happy hour, during embroidery happy hour, please let me know. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and please subscribe to my channel. If you know someone that is interested in embroidering and stuff like that, and you know, please share my channel with them and stuff. I really would like this channel to grow some more. Also, please join the Facebook group. I have a Facebook group called Embroidery Happy Hour Adventures. It's a really great group. We so far have more than 200 members in the group, and I really love the group because we get to help each other out with our questions and show each other what we're working with, and you know, share information and stuff like that. So you know, if you haven't joined and you're part of Facebook, please join. Consider joining. I mean, it's a great great place for you to get information and stuff. So, you know, next week will be Christmas. I am not sure if I will be doing a happy hour embroidery hour on Christmas. I'll put it out on Facebook and see if people are interested. If so, I'll create one because I know I'll be home, you know, playing around in my sewing room. So, you know, but please be safe out there. Enjoy the holidays and have fun. You know, working with your SE1900s, because I'm sure you guys are like punching out all these gifts and stuff. So please be safe, enjoy, and I really love this time talking to all you guys. So I hope you found the information that I shared with you guys helpful. And if you have anything, like I said, that you need help with and stuff, please feel free to reach out, okay? So I will talk to you guys later. Bye, and have a great one. Have a good week. Bye. Oh, that ended.